Morning, good morning. It's Girl Friday. Something I want to share with you this morning that I'm reflecting on. There's this idea of, I often, talk to people about God. That's just what I do. It comes natural. I flaunt in it actually because I feel like it's such a gift, such a privilege. I get to remind people of who the creator of the universe is. Oh my gosh, there are many issues here, but when I stack it up against who the creator of the universe, the creator of the galaxies, who numbers the stars, who calls them by name. I'm just like in awe, like all the day long. And it helps me to put my issues into perspective. Like something that I was thinking about this morning is that a lot of times when I talk to people about God, and not a lot of times, but I hear it often enough. I'm really spiritual. They'll say I'm spiritual, but I really don't go to church because I think that that's a personal thing. And it is, by the way, it is a personal thing, but it's not only a personal thing, but that's another story. But they'll say, I'm so spiritual. I'm like, okay. And that can really throw you, if you're not grounded in the word, because people confuse spirituality with godliness. It's not the same. It's not the same. Or they confuse it with morality. It's not the same. And while it's good to be moral, and it's important for me personally to be moral, my morality says a lot about my character. It's important to me. It is not the same as having a relationship with God. I can be very moral and not have a relationship with God. I know that may not sound like it's true, but it's true. You can know a lot of good moral people who are atheists who say, that's okay. But my point is, the cautionary tale that I'm trying to impress upon you this morning is that you need to double check when we say we're spiritual, but you look at our relationships and it's out of whack. Our finances and it's out of whack. We look at our physical well-being and it's out of whack. Our emotional wellness and it's out of whack. Our professional lives is out of whack. But we say we're very spiritual. Now, granted, there are times in our lives when life happens to all of us. We all experience seasons where things are just not working the way they should, but it should not be an extended, sustained lifestyle where all these things are out of whack, but I'm spiritual. That is contradictory. It's counter to what God says. God says in John 8, Jesus was speaking. He says, I have come to give you life and life to the full. I've come to give you life and life more abundantly. What does that mean to me? It means that I'm always growing, right? It means that I'm always going from one level to the next. I'm not stagnant. Jesus does not believe in being stuck. So I shouldn't be stuck because I'm a follower. I should always be growing. That's just what I believe. What do you believe? But too often, I find people who are saying they're spiritual, but it doesn't map. It's supposed to map to all areas of your life because he gave us a blueprint of how to have a great relationships, how to have our money in order, how to keep ourselves, circumspect. The blueprint is right there in the word. Or if we're saying we're so spiritual, but you can't tell by looking at our lives, something is wrong. We have a definition of spirituality that is not in concert with what God teaches, with God's principles, with God's mindset. So that we have to ask ourselves, where did we get it from? Where did it come from? This idea that I can be spiritual, but it not be reflected in my life. Contradiction. The question I want to ask you today is to ask yourself, do you think you are spiritual? And if I am, does my life reflect it specifically in these major areas, my finances, my professional life, my career, my physical well-being, my emotional well-being. And I'm not talking about your mental health, okay? Because I'm talking about just emotional wellness, where you live at emotional. But the point is, we can't have these areas in compartments from spirituality because they're supposed to dance. You know what I mean? It's a symphony. And if they're not dancing, then it's just time to do an evaluation. It's not the end of the world, but it's just important we are not deceived into thinking I'm spiritual, but these other areas, I go other places to get the answer when the answer is from God himself in his word. Today's Growth Friday. So we're here at Eve Speaks platform or Angie Speaks Stronger Than Splinters. All we do all day long is heal, aspire, and grow. So how are you growing? Go ahead, click the link and we can chat further if you like. But that's up to you. Just remember, you cannot disassociate spirituality from these major areas in your life that's supposed to reflect how spiritual you are. Just a word of caution. Have a great day and enjoy your Friday. How you grow. Bye-bye.